AI framework for insurance sector. Today we form a special panel to talk about the embedded insurance. Please put your hands together to welcome our panel members to the stage. The first panelist, Arthur Sue, Head of Product and Proposition, Long Life and Zurich Insurance. Another following will be the Manly Head of Strategic Operational Initiatives at Sun Life Hong Kong Limited. Dennis Xi, Founder and CEO at Ondas Company Limited. Catherine Zhang, Principal SE at Impera. Michael Au, Associate Director, Partnerships at HASTP. Michael will be the moderator of this panel discussion.
Hello. Hello, I believe that it's an afternoon, after lunch, so everyone is a little bit sleepy. So I will stand here for a little bit while. Before I being the moderator, Patrick actually make a request or an order to me that don't sugarcoat the Hong Kong situation about API. So what do you guys think about the Hong Kong's API or open data situation? Is it good? Anyone? If you think good, raise up. No? Because sleepy? Yeah, someone, especially the staff. Okay, welcome to Hong Kong Science Park again. I'm Michael Au from Hong Kong Science Park Partnership Team. We believe that the true impact of technology is not about research. It's about when you adopt it in the market. So when people pay for that, that is the true beauty or the true impact of the technology. So today we introduce some friends from the industry to share the true story. And after the stories, we will debate what is going on in the market and what should be done. So the first one, I call that from your website, Sun Life with 100 years of foundation. Your motto is the life is always brighter under the sun. So you guys try to provide tailor-made service to all the clients. So is that API or open data helping you in any ways? Please.
Okay, thanks Michael for the question. I could see in the recent year, the insurance industry has undergone a very rapid change. It is driven by the evolving of customer expectation and also from the technological advancement and regulatory reforms. So nowadays, I could say the insurance products, it is quite easy to replicate. So when you see a company A, it launch a product with some good features, but sooner or later, you can see another company come up with another similar products with more advanced features in a short period of time. So this makes our industry become highly competitive. So what we can do is we understand that the importance for providing value-added services, not just on our core business, say we provide insurance products. So other than this insurance product, we need to understand the needs from the clients and how we can provide a total solution. So what we can enable us to do this, okay, we partner with our partners to integrate our system and our process through a ecosystem integration, and also we leverage with the partner using data and open API to make a positive impact to our business. So maybe I can give you some example. For instance, if you purchase a medical policy from an insurance company like us, so in the past, maybe the company, maybe the customer, they think that the most important thing is that they need a medical protection from us, right? So this is the past expectation, but nowadays, I think this is not enough. And the customer think that what they are really looking for, apart from the core medical protection benefits, they're also looking for a total solutions. So once they come into a need to look into a medical treatment, or even though need to do a surgery, okay, so they are looking for a total solution. So starting from how they can find a doctor or a specialist to suitable to their situation and give them recommendations, right? And also how they can easily find a appointment from the hospital. And even though they want to know how much they need to pay out of the pocket, if their policy are unable to cover all the payments, then how much they need to pay upfront, and also they're also concerned about the tedious claims procedure, right? So all these become not just talking about the product itself, but about the experience, the total experience. So, so we're trying to provide a better service to this group of people. Then we partner with our medical solution provider. So we integrate with their ecosystem, and then through this system, they can easily to find the right doctor, the specialist, and give them advice. And also they can make the appointments through this platform by we passing the data through the API to this medical digital platform, so they can make the appointment. And then we can give them some APIs so they can instantly to calculate the out-of-pocket they need to pay according to their policy coverage. And also with this platform, they no longer need to submit the claims. So this deliver a total exceptional experience through this kind of integration. Yeah, so this I want to try to share a live example from the insurance
That's
industry.
actually how the customers, but does that actually help your companies? Because after all, without ROI, you will not try to adopt a new technology or something called the open API maybe.
Yeah, because we need to make sure that what service we are offering should be tied to our core business and also really relevant to our clients, right? So if you want to think about use case, the relevancy is very important. So whatever technologies, API, open AI, whatever, and of course API because it's talking about the data exchange, this is very important to help us to do a better service. So this example is just illustrate how to use an API, leverage data, and then integrate with the ecosystem seamlessly with our core business.
So after all, it's all about business. Okay.
Yes.
Alpha, we met 9 years ago. So when we are both mentor to the incubation program, we always say that the technology is actually growing not super fast in Hong Kong. So does that change or does that have something to do with switch right now?
Thanks, Michael, and first of all, thanks for having me here. I think I'll go straight into sharing, just like Len, sharing some cases how API can actually create values for insurers. So one case is about embedded insurance. So just a crack course for everybody in case you don't know what is embedded insurance. So basically, when you plan your next trip, you buy your flight tickets, you always see a box at the bottom saying that, okay, you want an insurance. So that's embedded insurance. Simple as that. So of course you can embed insurance in a lot of different point of sales website, and this is actually the trend going on, especially in Europe, and then we are seeing a lot more picking up in Asia Pacific and Hong Kong as well. So one case I can share because it's been launched, I think end of last year, is with Citibank. I'm not sure if anyone from Citibank here, but basically it's quite an innovative product or digital initiative. So we do get some regional awards for that. So we actually put a new tailor-made product called a lifestyle insurance because if you know Citibank, so they have been doing open API for quite a few years, and even before COVID, we are actually one of the first partners to work with them on pay with points. So literally, if you go to Zurich, you buy insurance, you can actually use their pay with points to pay. So that's one of the first use case before, but I'm going to share is something new. So what we try to do is we embed a lifestyle insurance into their credit card activation process. So in the past, at credit card, you always need to call when your card expired, the bank send you a new card, and then you need to call a number. But nowadays, like for digital savvy bank like Citibank, you can actually do it through the app. So we think maybe this is a good touch point for people to buy insurance after they activate the card, just like you buy the flight tickets. Okay, do you want insurance? And then if they, so we designed a very flexible product for them, like 5 simple coverage. You can select any one of them, and then the product will be charged at your credit card you just activated on a monthly basis. So I think why I want to share this example is really how API can help insurers nowadays to embed insurance in different ecosystem partners. So bank is one of them. We also work with telcos or others, and this is something new because in the past insurance you always sell like a generic insurance, whether it's home, a PA, through your website, your brokers, your agents. But now you can actually tie this to the point of sales of your partners, and it creates value for everybody. So for instance, it's more relevant to customers because when you just like why people put the insurance when you buy flight tickets, because okay, maybe you don't want to buy it after like a day or so, but a lot of the time it's about impulse buying. So that's one benefit because it creates new channel and new markets for insurers. And then another thing is really sometimes it's also a driver driven by customer experience, because nowadays people are very demanding in terms of customer experience. When you buy something online, everybody expect, okay, I will receive an email confirmation within a few minutes. If you don't, then you'll be very, okay, did I just go to a phishing website and then I give the credit card to somebody else? So with this API, actually, we work with banks. And then also, one more point is that they want things to be really simple, just one click, two click. With this API, actually, the Citibank can pre-populate, because you have already logged in the banking app. So they pre-populate all the personal information into our backend system, and then we can give them a quotation instantly, and then we can issue the policy instantly. So I think that's one example how API can enable and create values for insurers. I have a second example, but I can share afterwards because yeah, it's been too long.
You will have the time. So by this example, we actually Alpha and Search actually enable the new channel, new touch point, new market, new purchase method. Everything is new because the keyword the customer is demanding. So when customer is demanding, they also have to take the risk because just to click a box during a flight, during activation of your card, all your information, all your should be protected information is gone to someone else. So how should we protect the data security? What do you think, Kelvin?
Yeah, thank you very much. Hi everyone, I'm Kelvin Chen, Principal AC coming from Imperva. So I guess maybe some of the guests here already use Imperva supported, so which is we quite focus on application, API, and data. So what Michael you mentioned actually when we talk about API, actually is talk about data security. Yeah, because for API it's so fast, right? I think the discussion so far, we had talked good enough how API is important and how it is exposed to the market. Yeah, so when I saw that maybe some of the region we are starting talking about open, not only open banking, open insurance, open government, open healthcare, these kind of things. So my personal experience in terms of how the way they integrate together, like for example, banking and insurance, right? So when we go to travel, before I take the flight, I go to my e-banking, I just buy the insurance within 5 minutes. So this is very convenient. But the reason why when you mention this, right, maybe they still some of the enterprise, they still think about it on the security side, because nowadays we have different environment. We have hybrid environment. So like for example, they had a legacy system. They have something is leverage the cloud platform, because the cloud platform is very native, right? It doesn't need to build the infrastructure. They just leverage the third-party API in the cloud. That means it create problems like on the security, like for example, I think very typical, just like what you mentioned, when you launch something to the public, you need to comply the security team some green light, right? So how can they grant you the green light? Because to them, they don't have the visibility. Oh, come on, where are your API? So I don't know, so maybe your API is everywhere. You're in the cloud, in a hybrid, and they don't know what kind of data you are transforming. Right. For example, because for me, I had a service. I need to integrate because I need the time to the market very fast. Like what you mentioned, somebody they had a feature is better than me. I need to launch something equivalent to the features. Time to market need to very fast. But how about security team? How can I catch up that fast of the market? So that's why they at least they need to have something like, I need the visibility, whatever. Because when we're talking about open API, we had private API, right? That means some API is internal, east-west their communication, but they don't have the visibility. Think about like, I think back to a couple of years, they had an incident coming from the Facebook. So Facebook, they had launched a feature, like for example, I want my fan to look at my new outfit of my Facebook. So that's why they can send something link to let them to look if I launch on the inside how it look like, right? So kind of like because I think everyone we experience when you try to log in your e-banking, right? So when you log in, you offend, then how come your second request doesn't need a login and password? Because it embed a token. So it embed a token. That means like when back to the Facebook case, that means the hacker, the bad guy, when they access the token, they can use your token to steal some other the data. Which means that, for example, hey, just like what I mentioned, I need to check something. I need to check some of the status. When I log in, I access the API, I will get the token. The tokens belong to me. But somehow the hacker, hey, how come? For example, you can imagine I have my ID 123, so I have my token. So if someone that use my token, they can try to see whether they can see some other member. They can try an error like 4, 5, 6. Then eventually, they bypass something vulnerability, which means that they can steal some of the data. So this is also the key why Facebook, they lost about 5 million of user data, including their name, their address, the data, everything. So that's why when I come back to what I mentioned, like for example, at least we had a visibility. At least you need something like what is transforming. Like for example, you know the key difference between website and API is website, you will have a presentation layer, right? Fancy UI, the link, you had a browser, but AI no. The AI is built for machine, built for partner, which means that it needs something automate. They mean you are facing the same issue as web. Like for example, when you launch a service, you will suffer the injection, SQL injection or DDoS or everything the website is facing. But why they need something particular or specified for API is because API is something we already defined, we had a standard. That's why the industry can using the standard to launch their solution. So that's why we need something that can identify what exactly in your API, whether if you have any sensitive information. But because the key is like, if I discover something, you will transfer the sensitive information, but without authentication, it will very big problems.
So is it serious in Hong Kong right now? So all the API.
Yeah. So when you talk about, when I saw that they a lot of enterprise, they are thinking about their digitalization, or they are in the midway of a digitalization. But the point is like how they divide the API, how they know that whether they have any sense of it, how they know that whether they have any shared API. So that's why they are looking for something that can be automations to catch up with the fast-growing API.
Yeah, especially the industry is fast-growing. We need fast-growing security protocols to actually help that. After talking about enterprise example, we also want to talk about the tech venture examples. On us, Dennis, congratulations again. He is one of the heroes from Hong Kong Science Park. So why do we say that is that, yeah, you got the expectation. Okay, so when we talk about the API help the corporates to improve, to do transformation, we actually, with those API, we enable new business. On us, they actually help use API, use data to facilitate a very complicated non-warranted market, the loyalty, the gift card, or the gift system. So can you do an elevator pitch about that?
Thank you so much, Michael. So shocked just now. So hi, I'm Dennis, founder of On Us. On Us means for you, on us. So we are not the one to serve the customers, but we help our corporate marketers to serve, to better understand the customers. So we're doing customer engagement. So very live. Today, I hope you guys really enjoy taking a scan the QR code to enjoy the e-voucher, say for like Starbucks or Hong Fuk Tong, for example. So I would like to remind you to make sure you enjoy that, because otherwise I will save that money. Why? Because I'm not going to buy upfront from Starbucks, but once you do redemption there, I will do an API call and pay to the merchant by that time. So please enjoy the voucher. Otherwise, I'm not sponsoring at all, you know. Thank you so much, Patrick. Yeah. So this is what we do. So by using API, we streamline the whole process on the payment, you know, with the cashier POS systems. And on the other side, we also work with banks and insurance company, like very, you know, popular Canadian insurance company with the color in
Yeah,
orange.
maybe let me
Yeah.
jump in here. I think I must echo what Dennis said. Because Sun Life is one of the very first insurance company to adopt their solution, because we gratefully see the benefits they bring us, the benefits for the cost saving, and we use their solution to make us easily to issue any digital coupon to serve the kind engagement purpose. So thanks, Dennis.
Thank you, man, for giving us a chance. So that's how when we collaborate with Sun Life, now I put it on the table now. So when we collaborate with Sun Life, so the end user can easily, you know, select the incentive that they want within the apps, not jumping out to elsewhere, because we become a part of, you know, the features to enable like Sun Life customers to enjoy the benefits. And at the same time, because we do that, we capture the behavioral data, we will provide the choices, we capture the redemption data, you know, the choices for the customers, and that's why how Sun Life can better understand, you know, the preference of the customers. So one side on the merchant, the other side on the marketer side. So we have all the, you know, behavioral data, transaction data, and then we want to know more about, you know, the individual without knowing the details, because we don't need to, you know, what we call need to know basis. So we don't need to know the person information whatsoever. What we need to do is, it's like a mapping, right? API call, system to systems. So we're now also collaborating with data partners, like one of the giant Japanese payment company who got like 55 million user base that we are going to collaborate. We're going to announce this in September, very soon. So then we want to provide more, you know, like understanding of the like the customer behavior back to the, you know, marketers, such that they can know next time what we can do to better engage or to recruit new customers. So let me put two quick use case of API to emphasize on the automations, because when we talk about to scale the company, I think it's not always like manual work, you know, not one time, but you know, seamless, automated. I touch customer engagement, I touch data collaboration. Now the last one is automation. So like insurance company, for example, they would like to do acquisitions like incentive. A new client on board, right? You give an incentive. Hey, not that easy. Make sure you pay like 3 times the premium, then they will give out incentive. And another bank, right? Oh, okay. Now you have to do these 5 tasks, and in order to win a like 800 Hong Kong dollars voucher, right? Something like that. So they're like gamifications, or you know, it have to be some KPI. So who is going to capture these informations? All we do is to interface with like their CRM, like Salesforce, whatsoever. Then they run the system automatically every single day to check who is entitled for what kind of, you know, benefits. So then they will call us through API. I don't think there's like people would like to work like this. Every day go back to check report and then say, oh, these 5 people. No, forget that. It's all automated using API. So I think having the API can help really to smoothen the whole process. We can also you know, enhance or provide a possibility to pay on the spot through API. So I hope the use case is easy enough for reference. Thanks.
Yeah, if the stage manager trying to show me the thumbs up signal, but I'm not yet into the part 2. Okay, something is happening. Let's just jump to part 2. The part 2 is that I want you guys to remove your title to actually give Hong Kong Science Park or give Hong Kong the API ecosystem, the whole ecosystem, because that we don't think that we have to discuss how important API is or data is. It's no longer a concept. It's happening. So you guys already using API to data, you improve your business. Security is already there, because if nothing is happening, we don't need security. It means the market is big enough. So what else should we do in the next 2 years, especially by Hong Kong Science Park or MA or IA or the policymaker? What should we do to help you guys? Maybe just 1 to 2 lines each one. Alpha? Don't sugarcoat.
Yeah, tough questions. I think, so Open API is particular, so because we talk about API, but Open API in particular, I think it's a new initiative, at least in the insurance industry. I think everybody's trying to find use case, but in principle, definitely, if you can open up API, then you kind of gain the traction and the ecosystem, everybody start using it. But I think one key thing is it's not only about the insurance. So I checked the Hong Kong STP Open API platform last night. So we do put one of the API will sit back there. So I mean, as an insurer, so I think set aside the security part. So I'll leave it to our IT security or data security team. I don't see an issue with insurers opening the API. I think it's also about the awareness on the other side. So who is using it, right? So I think people start to see the values, as I mentioned. Okay, people start to know what insurance or how using API can actually benefit both the customers, both the corporate itself and the insurers. I think this is something that takes time and it is starting.
Thank you. Man?
Yeah, I think Open API in the insurance industry is relatively new, right? So, and also seeing the industry is developing the new use case and see how can valuable use the this kind of technologies to help our business. But I could see there's a benefit for the industry, especially in the public sector, because this is another round. Because for the insurance industry, we cannot just push from the public sector, right? What we can do is just focusing on our commercial. We can do whatever we can do to provide more service, open API to our partners, right? But from the public sector, we think that the regulator will play a very crucial role here in driving the initiative up forward. So we look forward, the Hong Kong FI, Hong Kong IA will help us to work with different public sector. I will give an example. Say if the insurers, we want to ask the permission from the patients to open their medical records from the hospital authority. So it will help us to simplify the whole claim process. So, but this kind of initiative is difficult to drive along in the industry. So we must ask the assistance from the regulator. Yeah.
And let's try to do that. So,
Yeah.
please.
So I think people are very obsessive with AI these days, right? And they just forget there's a P in the middle, like API. No, so just a joke. But I mean, it's very important because just like the previous speaker mentioned that API is always like a hidden hero behind, right? So just apart from AI, we also really consider to push, the importance of API as well. Even though it's like a little bit tech stuff. Yeah, but it's very
Promotion,
important.
okay. Promotion and education. Kevin?
Okay. So I try to wear another hat, not much related to security. Yeah. But just what I mentioned, API is a hero, but hero needs someone to back up. So the key, of course, I do review STP, the API hub. I think the key is like how we can build an ecosystem, right? Because for now we are talking about B2D, business to developer. Yeah, because I'm a third party, so I want to build something. Because everyone we had made it credit card, right? we have different outcome, we have different policy, it cover our different area, right? So that means that, hey, the third party could have something they can make a good use and can collaborate. Just like what you mentioned, collaborate the data. But I need the platform, need the whole ecosystem. You can provide Sun Life their API or your solutions API, so I can integrate together for my user. It's very easy. So there could be a lot of user case on there. Yeah. So of course, to not to let the security slow down, is that definitely you need the security. So come back to what I mentioned, it's like the security team, when they try to catch up the fast going to the market, they at least need something that can help them to have the visibility. Because as I mentioned, we have hybrid environment. We have privacy data in everywhere. How do I know where my data locate, right? It could be in the on-prem, it could be on the cloud. How do I know? I need something that can very automate. It can be integrated in the CI/CD, so it could be automation. So when you launch the solution to the public, at least you have something to verify whether this is compliant or this is already have best practice.
Okay, so in a nutshell, we need promotion.
Sorry, one point I want to supplement because it is quite important. I think for the open API, we also need to embrace the development of the Greater Bay Area because maybe someone when you know the Chinese government, they have approved a project to set up a customer service center in Nam Hoi and Lam Sai and Chin Hoi. Okay, so with this initiative, they are going to allow the Hong Kong policy holders to renew their policies and also pay for the camps, submit for the camps payments in the GBA region. So they can do it through API, open API. So I think this is very good step towards the integration of the GBA. And it is happy to see that the Hong Kong FI is leading this initiative forward. Yeah, so we look forward to this initiative to be a success.
Yeah, GBA will be a great market for everyone. So in a conclusion, we need education to the market. We need policymakers to help. We need the API hub. So Martin is on you. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for your input, fruitful sharing. Thank you. So I think we are all attracted by the potentials of the open finance, but it also draw our attention, like what Kevin just mentioned in our discussion about the security. So it may come to us like, how can we effectively combat the cyber risk? Fear not, because we have an expert here. Our next speaker, Vishal Goriwala, the Senior Director and CTO, Asia Pacific at SUSE. He is here to talk about securing the financial sectors and shielding APIs from the dark side of cyber threats. Please join me, welcome Vishal.
The API Connect Hong Kong 2023 conference is powered by bNovelty Limited. Check out more API-related education content on bnovelty.com or apidays.hk for more information.